Card Dreamer here, coming at you on behalf of D-Class Derailed and all things, well, still D-Class related. Uh, but today we are here with a semi-special guest because he keeps like standing me up like I'm a cheap date, which he's not wrong, but still.
Wow. You know what? I thought you were gonna make a joke at the name, but sure, why not? That's another reason to call me a semi guest.
Yep, yep,
Demi-Humans here. There we
that's
go.
right. There we go. And today we are going to discuss something that has finally calmed down, so leave it to me to get people spurred on again. That's fine with me. But we're going to discuss the whole, I don't know if it's controversy, but the whole umbrella of the Snyder cut for Justice
hmm
League. All right, well, have a good one, everybody.
Wow.
No.
I was gonna say no conversation necessary. It was just, ugh.
That's all I need to say. It's just that should express all my disgust with this whole thing.
That sounded like disgust. You're just. I think it.
Go ahead, say it. Everybody else does. You're just an overly negative person, Card Creeper. Well, I mean, the world's an overly negative place, people. I'm sorry. If you want to keep your rose-colored Elton John shades on, smoke a little bit of that you-know-what, and have a gay old time, that's fine. But the rest of us live in reality.
I mean, nobody said all that, but it's not. It's not
Oh,
that.
then never mind.
You're like, I'm taking my statement back.
All right. Well, to give a brief synopsis for those what few of you may not know, Zack Snyder did Man of Steel and did Batman v Superman. He was the one behind those two movies, and he was working on Justice League when a family emergency came up, and he had to leave, and Joss Whedon took over. For those who don't know, Joss Whedon is behind the Marvel movies, or a good number of them, including Avengers. Justice League opened to warm reception. It was an underwhelming movie.
Yeah,
Now,
that's fair.
since then, people have been clamoring for the Zack Snyder cut of the movie. They have to see it. They want to see it. Joss Whedon's movie wasn't that great. Give me Zack Snyder's cut. And finally, years later, when it's completely irrelevant, even more so than the opening theatrical release, it's finally happening.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 4-hour special on HBO. It's broken up into hour blocks.
Okay.
And people are all excited about it.
Yeah.
Now you're all caught up. So let's get into the crap that this is. As you can probably tell, actually, you know what? First off, what is your opinion on the whole thing, Demi-Human?
Okay. All right. So I know we discussed this. We discussed this before, and I personally, I'm willing to watch it, but I don't know if I would say I'm excited for it. Like I think there's an element of being like, okay, the it's not like I don't believe Josh Wheaton decided that, oh, because DC and Marvel fans are like pitted against each other, like he was gonna sabotage uh Justice League, and it just turned out to be like a crap movie. It's like, no, he came in
Ooh,
at
I
the
didn't even think of that angle. I like this.
after I said I don't think that's what happened. He's like, nah, that might actually be a good.
Yeah. We're gonna run with this, but go on.
But, but I don't know. My thing is just like at the end of the day, regardless of who you are, like I think if you have a movie that's like it's almost like an idea of being like co-produced. So it was co-produced by Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder. So it's not like he fully revamped everything. There were still elements of the movie that were very much Zack Snyder. Um, and I think that's pretty evident in a lot of like the little trailers that they're showing. There's just obviously specific holes in the plot that got taken out. Um, but I don't. Yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like it's a movie that people are going to be judged on um, as the director. So I feel like he did the best within his ability. So I don't think I'm expecting anything too insanely spectacular from the Snyder cut. I think it'll be different for sure, but eh, you know what I mean? I'll watch it, but I'm not like foaming at the mouth to see it. That's just me.
Okay, okay. So I'm sure everybody knows my feelings by now. I could care less about this thing. Like I could not care less about this thing because I don't care. I no that's a falsehood. I don't care to see it. What I care
Okay.
is to make sure it never sees the light of day.
Wow.
Hear me out. Man of Steel and Batman v Superman were
Yeah.
not well received movies at all.
Yeah, they were.
Man of Steel had a lot of good moments in it. I'll give credit where it's due. It had some good moments in it. And most of them had to do with flashbacks. The young Clark, like with pushing the school bus, learning to adapt his powers, how Martha and Jonathan dealt with it. Kevin Costner was a good choice for Jonathan Kent. It was those moments that were good. They were good character elements to the movie, and I give them props for that.
Mm.
Russell Crowe is as accurate as everything they showed was about Jor-El. Russell Crowe was freaking awesome as Jor-El, and I had no qualms. Like that I will give Snyder the credit there where you took something, did something completely wrong, and made me like it. So okay, fine. I ate the lie, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, and I was gonna say I feel like I think we can definitely all agree that his choices in who he picks are very reminiscent of that. Like you don't think they'll necessarily work for their character type or their character mold, but I think you do end up becoming very pleasantly surprised. Like with um obviously we can skip through a couple movies between Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman.
Well, he
Like
didn't
even
do those.
oh
He
he
didn't do
didn't
Aquaman. He didn't do
oh
Aquaman
okay.
or Wonder Woman.
Ooh, okay, I gotta retract that then. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Yeah,
Okay, no,
that's why they were good. That actually, and that'll lead into my point. That leads into my point. Thank you for the setup. As much as he did some good character pieces and had good act, and I will give you that. Like he had good actor choices, like the guy who played, what was it, Lawrence Fishburne, I think his name is, who played
yeah,
more.
yeah,
Yeah, at the top of my head, I certainly would not have chosen him to play Perry White, but he nailed the role. Like character persona wise, I like how he portrayed Perry White. I accept it. Done. Cool. Great. Like that was okay for me. So I agree with you. He can take actors and they can work in the roles very well.
yeah.
But what he's doing with these characters makes no sense to me a lot of the time. Man of Steel, he was very broody. I mean, he was Batman-esque,
Mm,
really, in his brooding, trying to like, I need to know who I am. Let me go on this lonely journey.
yeah.
And like, what? Like, dude, shut up. You were supposed to be the symbol of hope, not the symbol of depression. That's what Superman's all
Damn, man.
about. No, like from the start, like he had no sense of anything. and maybe that's because I have a fondness and nostalgia for the character and also for the Christopher Reeve movie. Never once did the guy question himself. He embraced what he was and what he had. This guy's like, I just don't know where I fit in. We have that issue as normal human beings. Suck it up. You're not special, except that you have powers. Now you're double emo. That's your superpower right now. You're just dumbo whiny.
You're just
Or double whiny. Like, what the flip? I don't know. I just couldn't. I hated that. Now, but the counterpoint that I actually liked the argument that he was having with Jonathan, with his dad, in the car right before the twister about how he should be doing more to help people.
okay.
Jonathan was like, you should be on the farm. Like, are you telling me feeding people isn't helping? And they were kind of like getting to the point when they were interrupted where he's basically like, you could have taken that one step further and got to the point where it's like, if I have the ability to stop this, this, and this, and I don't, doesn't that make me complicit?
Yeah.
Like Jonathan can't go out and stop a bullet and prevent people from being shot and doing all that, but he is what Clark could. And he had a point, like, I can do this, so shouldn't I do it? Shouldn't I be – I have these powers. Shouldn't I use them to do what's right? I get that. That was the whole systemic question. They actually started bringing that up in Batman v Superman. It's fine. But again, the whole overall movie was just so – the amount of this – like, there is no Metropolis by the time you get to the end of the movie. They rebuilt pretty quick. When Batman v Superman came around, I'll give them that.
Mm.
Like, that was over-the-top destruction. They introduced characters to kill off right off the bat, even though they have a long-standing history with Superman. Like Professor Hamilton is I'm surprised they brought him in to kill him off in one shot because he's really underused. He's almost not used when it comes to anything but I think the animated series used him for a bit, but that was it. This was the man who studied Superman more than anybody else and helped him and test his limits and understand his powers and and you just killed him off as some weird one shot
Yeah, that was I was gonna say the other thing too that is I don't think this was a trend of just of doing that, but I do think he had he almost had this very slight nod to two versions of the comics or versions that have been shown, but they don't last very long. It's just okay, I just wanted to throw it in there just to throw it in there, almost intentionally. And it's there's no development there. It's just let me just drop something in there to make DC fans happy and then just leave it alone.
Right, and to me that doesn't make me happy. I don't mind Easter eggs, but when your whole movie is a 2-hour Easter egg because you do nothing with it, that's what it was a 2-hour Easter egg. There was no development I feel of Superman or Clark even coming into who he was, understanding who he was. I don't like that they threw that into, now I'm going to fight a bunch of Kryptonians when I'm going to and kill one of them before he even comes into himself. And I'm not against showing Superman kill and regretting it because that was a storyline. That's not a totally Snyder thing. That was a storyline years ago in a comic book where he killed Kryptonians from an alternate universe. It was he felt it was the only way to stop them. He used every resort. They wouldn't surrender, and it nearly broke him in the comic books. If they had followed up on that, I would have been more okay. But it was just aw, snap, pun intended, and done. I love it, but. And it was so dumb. The head was moving ever so slowly, I'm going to kill them or use my... Dude, put your hand in front of it. You're invulnerable. It might hurt. It might burn a little bit. Use your own heat vision to deflect it. Come on, man.
Hey,
punch him. Throw his head into the ground so the heat vision is... you just were no, I can't slowly stop having his head turn. What?
Hey, man, on. Sometimes you gotta self-preserve. If he's going to hurt himself...
He could have flown off into the air with him, up right through the building.
But wouldn't that have messed up the integrity of the building, the structural integrity?
It was already destroyed. They crashed through it. What was left?
Fair. But all I'm thinking is like, let's just say you decide to fly straight up and he's aiming in one direction. You keep pulling him up. That's basically just creating like a giant crack along one side. And like,
You destroy 90% of Metropolis. You're worried about the last standing wall?
there's people inside.
Okay. Do you want them to burn or have a chance of actually running out of the building? It's not like
Okay.
a crack in the wall was going to make the whole thing everywhere else just crumble and lose integrity.
It was already pretty bad to be fair.
That's right. So a little more one is going to hurt. There was no reason that could not have been resolved in a better way. But anyway, I'm nitpicking Man of Steel. That is the point of this discussion. But it highlights that there were definite issues and the movie was not well received. That
Yeah.
there is no iframe, but Henry Cavill was a good Superman. I'm not knocking the actors. I'm knocking the movie. Keep this in
Yeah.
mind. You get to Batman v Superman, the movie that spawned 1,000. Why did you say that name?
Oh
Memes,
God.
right? And a horrible. Jesse Eisenberg was a horrible. Snyder, you failed. Everything I gave you credit for in Man of Steel, at least choosing right characters, you
Just
failed.
retract it
You
now.
blew it. I retract it. You blew it. You blew it. Jesse Eisenberg, I like the guy. I like him as an actor. Sucked as Lex Luthor. I don't know what that was. It was like he was like, you told him, I want you to play Lex Luthor. He thought Jim Carrey's Riddler. Got it. That's what I heard.
Oh, that's
Or
disrespectful. That's
you're right.
disrespectful.
You're right. Jim Carrey did Riddler better. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but that was not Lex Luthor. That was horrible. And the whole Superman just calling out Batman like, I know nothing about you, but if you don't, you need to stop and don't come back. Like, what the heck is up with that? Who is he? Superman would never do that. And Batman's got the longer history, so it just all the way around, it made no sense for Superman to even do that.
Yeah.
Batman made no sense. If there's a 1% chance he could be a threat, we have to take it as an absolute. What kind of logic is that? Let alone for the world's greatest detective, like, oh, there's a 1% chance my neighbor was the killer. We have to assume it's an absolute and have him arrested and take him down. Sir, it was the Joker. I don't care. There's a 1% chance it could have been him.
Hey,
I don't
1%
understand.
is more than zero.
Exactly. So everybody's got a percent higher than zero of have done something they didn't. I'm just saying. By that logic, everybody's guilty of everything.
Yeah.
That was the most flawed statement I'd heard in the movie since Star Wars Episode 3, when Obi-Wan's like, only Sith deals in absolute. Giving an absolute in the statement you're claiming only other people do is a complete contradiction and null and void statement.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's a fair point.
The whole I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I just hated his Batman. Like I think he's good in the way he handled it. I get that he's kind of a little bit more based on the Dark Knight because he's older. I get that. But at the same time, that was stupid thinking. It didn't make sense in the continuity you're trying to set up. And then for him to go, I'm taking him down. Oh, there's Doomsday. Oh, Superman's dead. Oh, no, the world. He was such a symbol of hope, but it didn't stop you from wanting to kill him. What hope did he get? I don't understand. Like, it made no sense. And
Okay.
Superman came to you and said, look, we're being pitted against each other. Superman tried one time, and then that was it. Like, we're being pitted together. And then Batman just kept attacking. Superman could have been like, when he disabled the first trap, he could have continued to just stand there and not press forward and say, listen to me. I understand I challenged you. I was wrong. But we are being played against each other by this person doing these things. I don't want to be here. I need your help. If you didn't press forward, none of the other traps would have even been activated. Batman would have been like, shit, all that planning for nothing.
Okay, see, I have to disagree there. And I think at least based off of the movies that we're discussing, I will say this. I think the end game with Zack Snyder's version of both of these classic characters is like he he spends a whole lot of time trying to like really highlight their humanity in a lot of ways. Like he doesn't like they don't seem very like separated from the rest of society, even in their like, oh, I've got all these powers and I can do all these things. So like I don't know if that would necessarily be and maybe that's just my assumption based off of like what I'm seeing, because like I think like just bringing up his idea of like Clark's turmoil with his dad and even within himself of being like, oh, I should be doing better. The whole idea of like not killing anyone is like very much highlighting the fact that like, yeah, he's fully different from everybody else, but he's trying really hard to like be an effective and productive part of society as like a human being, like sort of outside of the fact of like him being massively overpowered in comparison to everybody else. Um, and I feel like the same thing goes with Batman too. Like he would have seemed way less human if he had just like snapped out of it when Superman was like, hey, like we can't do this. Like we have to get like we have to be able to to come together again because we're being pitted against each other. Like that would be a very much like a noble hero thing to do. But Batman's not doing that. He's just like, oh well, you know, I have to protect the world because you could end up killing somebody. And that's a super selfish thing to think. It's just
Well,
like, oh
considering this comes from the man who drove around a Batmobile, literally with miniguns on them, blowing up every vehicle
yeah,
in its path.
yeah.
You could kill somebody. No, 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 no. I kill everybody.
Well, no,
Like
he doesn't kill everybody. He just
he killed them.
almost kills everybody. He
No,
almost
I'm
kills
sorry.
everybody.
I'm sorry. Did you see anybody leap clear of the cars before
Yeah.
they blew up? I'm sorry. I didn't see a driver come out of there.
Wait, hold on. That's a whole other theory then. Are we then to say that Batman has already killed? It's just it's not important until he actually sees it happen.
No, he already did kill. It's already established in Batman v Superman. He is a killer. He is blowing up those cars. He's got miniguns on his freaking car, and he's not even hiding them. They were rocket launchers, and he went out of his way to kill Superman, who never once crossed paths with him until, yeah, Superman made the stupid movie like, just stop being Batman.
Hmm.
Okay, stop being an alien. That would have been a great retort, but I mean, Batman. Yes,
Batman's rich.
this
He's not
Batman is a
clever.
killer. But he's supposed to be both. That's
True.
so. I'm just pointing out the fact that these movies have so many flaws. It's ridiculous. I'm not trying to nitpick each movie to death
That
because believe me, I don't have that long.
he's like I don't have
I
the
don't have
time.
enough time. I really don't. You can give me 4 hours, I won't be done. The point is, though, I wasn't the only one who felt this way. And I'm going to make a side note. I have the director's cut of Justice League. It didn't help. Or not Justice League, of Batman v Superman. It
Okay.
didn't help. It made it worse.
Worse.
What I thought was your bottom of the barrel stupid. You went under the barrel and started digging.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. There was some stupid and disrespect. He introduced Jimmy Olsen for the express purpose of killing him.
Yeah, see, but that goes back to my point again. It was just like they're like these unnecessary nods are like just very annoying to me. It's just like, oh well, you know, the I'm gonna have this person show up in like slightly, like just a little bit, and
Right.
like,
What was the,
and then
and he
that's
said
it, and then they're dead.
totally agree. And he said he did it for fun. He thought it would be fun to play with. What, it'd be fun to kill Superman's pal of since 1939? What? I don't. He. What? That's all I know
We
how to say. What?
yeah, we gotta figure out what's going on with this guy. He's got
So
some.
that fun for you is killing somebody, is what you just said. just because it was fun to do. Now I can't begrudge him that because that's kind of one of the fun things I do as a writer. I'm not going to completely begrudge him that, but I use original characters. I don't kill Jimmy. Like,
Wow, he crossed the line here.
who kills Jimmy? Like, what did Jimmy do to you? He's just Superman's pal. He's a guy with a camera. He's innocent. He's a red. Okay, he's redhead. Fine. He's got one negative, but
Oh my god.
I mean, but it's and you killed him in a military undercover op. What the frick?
Yeah.
Anyway, the movies suck. They both suck. They had even Batman v Superman did have some highlights. I wasn't completely against how they came about Doomsday. I was against the heat vision, and I'll get it. That's a whole separate issue just with Doomsday, because the other adaptions of Doomsday have gone that route, and I don't like it, and I don't get it. Again, Martha was fine. Wonder Woman, her entrance, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is just perfect. Even in Justice League, she was the highlight. But they were so flawed, and they didn't do good. So here's what I don't understand. Why are you people... Actually, no, hold that. I'll hold that thought.
Oh.
Now, let's look at Joss Whedon.
Okay.
You look at his history with Marvel, who complained? Nobody. People love the Marvel movies. They love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They love the Avengers. Joss Whedon was on a roll. Joss Whedon did Buffy. But Joss Whedon did so many things people love.
True. I mean, okay, but Zack
So
Snyder
now
did 300.
you get lucky with one movie and you think you're all that? All you did was give me 300 reasons not to like each of your movies.
You're annoying. Why would...
And I'm sorry, 300 was overrated to me, but that's just my opinion.
No, that's actually true though. It was generally overrated.
So here's what I don't get. The man who makes 2 movies nobody likes, and you want his cut of the movie. The man who makes all the movies you people and shows that you people love, his version sucked. When all he's doing is trying to build off what Snyder laid the groundwork for. It boggles my mind that you want Snyder over Whedon. Why? When you look at the history and you look at the reception thereof, where this is the topsy-turvy Batman has to kill Superman because there's a 1% chance type of logic. Like, why do you need Snyder's cut when he's got a track record of 2 bad movies? Why do you need a third one? Consistency? Every Snyder movie has to suck. I mean,
just burn the whole legacy to the ground.
Yeah, just burn it all. If we're going to keep getting Snyder movies, they all have to suck. If there's even a 1% chance Snyder's involved, we have to treat it as an absolute and make it suck. That's what I'm getting.
Damn.
I'm sorry, am I wrong?
You know what? I mean, we don't know, honestly.
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm just saying, based off of this movie, we don't know.
We don't have to know. The question was, am I wrong for people even asking for it because of the facts before us? Like the logic behind it. Why are you even wanting it?
Yeah, and you know what? And I will obviously I've tried to play devil's advocate here and at least sort of showing the positives to this movie. But I'll be honest, I watched both movies twice before I could actually. Well, the first 2 times I watched both movies, I fell asleep, and
wow.
I mean, I'm being honest here. That's not to take away from the first time. I won't say
there's a takeaway there. These movies aren't worth staying awake for. There you go. But you want his third movie.
No, okay, but hold on. Like I said, I'll watch it. I'm not saying I'm excited for it, but when it comes out,
fall asleep.
Okay, if I fall asleep during the Snyder cut, which I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised because apparently, how long is it supposed to be?
4 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a
Well,
lot.
but it's broken up to 1 hour chunks. They're going to air it over a course of like 4 days, an hour at a time.
Even still, I mean, like, I
It's
don't.
on HBO. I'm not even gonna. I'm sorry. I'm not paying an HBO to see the cut of a movie by a guy who sucked the first two times. So all around, your logic is flawed, people. I'm not paying money for that. You want to pay money to see a bad movie. I don't understand.
I don't know. I feel like for a lot of DC fans, to me this almost seems like the last hurrah because I don't know. I might have to double check, but I don't think Zack Snyder's going to be helping out with Wonder Woman 1984.
No, because he's not. Those aren't his projects.
Okay, yeah. So for a lot of DC fans, it's just like Zack Snyder's obviously the one who they can equate to being like the start of this DC um, uprising in a sense when it comes to a cinematic sense. So I feel like this is like it's almost like that thing where you're just hoping the third time's actually the charm, and they're like, we get it. It wasn't it wasn't the best, but
No, no,
this time will work.
there, no. And I can already. I'm going to point it just for the things that they're in that we know are going to be in the movie. I'm going to tell you why it sucks.
Okay, okay.
First of all, Darkseid looks like shit. Whoever thought that that was a good look for the Darkseid, this weird stone-looking thing with an axe who's only in shorts, who just looks like a walking statue and a barbarian, like that's not Darkseid in any incarnation that we have ever seen. Why would you have him even look like that? Why would you have him just this brute basic thing? If he is supposed to be one of the quintessential beings of like to be feared in the galaxy, having him come at me like a shirtless statue is not the way to do it. Put him
I'm
in
so
his
glad you brought
armor.
up. I'm so glad you brought up the shorts.
I get that the character wears shorts in the comics, but he has a whole ensemble.
Uh,
He's not just wearing his bathing suit like I was on my way for a swim, but I saw a Kryptonian here. Like I don't understand why Snyder has to make these kind of changes and people want them. He's degrading Darkseid, one of the greatest Superman villains and DC villains ever. Period. I know there was supposed to be more with Green Lantern, and we'll see how that pans out. Okay. The the black outfit that everybody wants to see Superman in. As neat as it would be to see the actual the outfit,
mhm.
the only reason it's going to be in the movie is for the look. It's not going to serve any purpose that the actual comic book reason was. Like the comic book purpose actually there was one. In the comic book the purpose behind the suit was there.
Yeah.
It was a Kryptonian it was a Kryptonian rejuvenation suit. It was to help him absorb solar power quicker. That was the design of it. It was created by his Fortress of Solitude and the Eradicator. There was a Kryptonian origin. He has no Fortress of Solitude. He told the ship to basically go bye-bye and destroyed it. The only link to his homeworld is gone. Where is he getting the suit, first of all? Because the first one he's wearing was given to him by the ship before it was destroyed. Jor-El had it, gave it to him. And that's a plot hole device that made no sense. But so where's this black suit coming from? You're just gonna make up some lame excuse. Oh, I did this and I'm making it black just because of this or that. Like, okay, you want to, but the whole point was to symbolize is that the point behind the suit's going to be lost, and it's just stupid. It's not fan service if you're not staying true to what the fans liked about it.
Yeah. I was gonna say at best, I think going back to this whole idea of it being like I think this is very reminiscent of, um, having a having a character that comes in that that gonna kill off. It does seem like, to me, it does almost seem like you're pandering to the fans, but like not in like an actual productive way. Like it's just a lazy job of doing it.
Yeah, you're kind of flipping them off as you do it.
Yeah, in a sense.
And so the man's already disrespecting two big things in the DC lore. He's put it point blank out there that these are still images from the movie and this is what he's going to do, and you people are still going, oh, we need the Snyder cut. I don't know what drugs had got passed around. I missed it. I wasn't, I was in the wrong line, but people need to wake up. Why do you want this? Meanwhile, was Joss Whedon's Justice League all that great? Wasn't the greatest thing I'd ever seen, but I don't think it was per se the worst thing. It definitely wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
It was underwhelming, but it wasn't bad. It was out of the three movies, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League. Justice League is the best one.
Oh, I can agree there. Yeah, I mean, there's no question.
I still like plot wise. Do I question them trying to take a consensus? We should try to bring them back to life and dig up a body. And I would have preferred a little more Kryptonian origin, so it was more out of their hands. So it wasn't kind of like, because like a Wonder Woman on one side, Batman on the other side, like, we should be doing this, and Wonder Woman was like, we should respect that he's dead. You're messing with like that. I will never get behind Batman arguing we need him, the world needs hope, but when this is the man who killed them, basically. He's one of the reasons Superman died. Like, he wanted to kill him himself. I think he's just mad Doomsday beat him to it. I really think that's what this boils down to.
Yeah. No, I agree there. I agree there. I think there's definitely an element to that of like of of that, and I think like I don't know. To me, again, I feel like this goes back to the whole humanity thing of the heroes, because like I almost feel like the whole idea of if, like, let's say Bruce killed Superman, and like, could you like imagine the type of guilt that he would have felt, or the type of gesture that they would have had to put on, very similar to in Man of Steel uh when Superman kills Zod. It's just the whole thing of being like of them trying to sort of pander to the idea of being like, oh well, they're human, they feel these emotions and everything else, is just, I don't think it worked the first time in Man of Steel. So I don't think it would have worked again in Batman vs Superman. So I do think, in a sense, it is, to me, it is better that they had the villain actually be the one to kill him, because I don't know how I would have reacted to see Ben Affleck reacting to himself killing Superman. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, like, Batman's already a very serious character, so to try and have him like show any sort of remorse would be like, oh, he gets back and he's like super bruised and he's got a couple broken bones, like in Justice League, and he pours himself some scotch and then that's it, or something along those lines. Like, I feel like they would do something like that. It's just like, okay, we're not. This just, again, seems very lazy in your approach. And yeah, so I think I will agree and say that it was probably better that they had the villain kill off Superman, as opposed to having Batman actually do it. I don't think it would have turned out well.
I agree. And quite frankly, Doomsday shouldn't have even been introduced yet. Doomsday, I hate that people are rushing to do Doomsday.
Yeah,
And
everyone
ever
is.
since he came out, every medium whether it's animated or live action, has rushed just about to do a Doomsday. Uh, the animated series did it, which wasn't done too bad, but they did it. Then they did a standalone movie of animated Superman Doomsday. Now they recently did a newer one. Smallville introduced Doomsday. Krypton introduced Doomsday. Why stop introducing Doomsday? We get that he is a great Superman villain, but he was kind of an endgame villain.
Yeah.
He was not meant to be up front. He was meant to be at the end of an era villain. Superman did all these great feats, but finally gave his all. Like, what does it mean? That Doomsday was the quintessential storyline. What does it mean to give your all? And I feel like everybody introducing him so right away is defeating the point of that story. But that's another complaint. Or that's a whole nother discussion. Like I'm telling you, this hate discussion is prompting so many other things. It's like it just keeps going. But seriously, and then let's look at the DC movie universe, the cinematic universe as a whole. It has good movies, as you pointed out. It has Shazam was actually well received.
Yeah.
Aquaman was very well received. Wonder Woman was phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing.
Suicide Squad, while it was mixed, was not a bad movie, and I actually liked Birds of Prey too, the Emancipation of Harley Quinn. I liked that too. So
I've yet to
really,
see that.
let's
So
look at the pattern. Everything Zack Snyder wasn't involved with was good.
yeah.
Why do you need him to do another movie?
Again, I feel like it's like that. It's like that. Like it almost feels like that kid who you sign up for a sport that you know he's not good at,
But
and you just keep.
his job is just to keep the bench warm and hand out the Gatorade. That's it.
But you want to make him feel better. So like you
No,
give him you
you're
give him
part
a
of a team,
couple.
son. Everybody gets thirsty. No, go get my drink. That's no, no. That's all Zack Snyder
Oh
is good
my
for.
god.
Go get them their drinks, Zack Snyder, and let the real people work who have talent.
Jeez.
Because I'm sorry, Zack Snyder's DC movies suck. They suck. I'm gonna say it again, people. They suck. I mean, sure, this might be my opinion, but factually speaking, they suck.
He's like, I'm just stating opinion, but from a factual standpoint, they're objectively terrible.
They are. And it's funny, people knock Superman Returns as a bad Superman movie, and it actually wasn't.
No, wait, no.
No, it gets a lot of flack for not being a good Superman movie, and I will never understand that because it's my favorite Superman movie, and to me, it's like right up there with the first Christopher Reeve movie because they just. I understand they go to get it was a little too much retreading old territory, but
Mhm.
I felt that's what they really needed to do if they were going to bring Superman back. You need to retread where you're coming from to remind people this is where we're coming from, but this is where we're going to go. You
Mhm.
end the movie like, okay, you know, this is where it came from. We're this is our way of we're going to deal with the past. We're going to confront it, but by the end of the movie, we're moving on, and the next movie's all new territory. That's how it should have been,
That's fair. I can agree with that.
and they just didn't get that chance. But this is people make
Yeah,
me cry.
it's I don't know. Like it's a very weird situation for me like to see as well because I feel like the other thing that they did a disservice with was like getting the other like especially the actors to like to say, oh, release the Snyder cut, do all this stuff. So they've been trying to promote like releasing the Snyder cut, and and I think the problem that I have with that is it's going to create an insane hype, and like, and yes, if I think anybody who is a DC fan in any sense should at least consider watching it. I'm not saying that you will, but like anybody who's remotely a DC fan should watch it. But like
Anybody
my
who's a DC fan should avoid it at all costs. Anybody who enjoys a good movie should avoid it at all costs.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. Okay, so my point though is I feel like with the ridiculous um push of it to me it has to live up to the expectation. And I don't believe that, like, unless they're going back in and they're fully revamping it like an insane amount,
But they're
it's
not. That's
they're
the other thing.
not.
They're not filming any new scenes for this movie. He's going to go back and redo, I guess, I think they're going back and redoing the CGI and finishing up the scenes that were filmed,
Mhm.
but they're not filming anything new.
See, and that's my issue, because like I feel like if you're not going in and doing a full revamp of it, you're selling people a very high dream. And to me, it's just like, can you, going back to your point, we've seen the track record already. So like if you're really pushing to the point where you've got like other people getting involved in it and saying like, "Hey, we need the Snyder cut release. We need the Snyder cut release." And you're getting everybody so excited, like I don't want this to just be a cash grab for him where like, "Oh, everybody who's been interested in it, whether they're avid DC fans or not, are going to go watch this. They're going to spend a ridiculous amount, and then they're going to be sorely disappointed because it's going to be a crap movie and it's not going to live up to everything that everyone said."
I'm telling you right now, I will not be disappointed because I have my only expectation is that it's going to suck. If you find a way to suck even more than I expect you to suck,
That's
congra-
impressive.
that is the only way you, sir, will exceed my expectations is by sucking more than I have already planned for you to suck.
That definitely has to be. I was going to say that definitely has to be in like uh something that's done once it comes out. Um, okay, maybe not once it comes out, but once you watch it, like give an honest feedback of it, and and it could literally be like, oh, I was expecting it to suck, and I was wrong because it was even worse than what I thought it was going to be.
All I'm going to say is Brightburn is a better Superman movie than Zack Snyder could ever hope to do. That's all I'm saying. It's a
Oh,
better Superman than Zack Snyder will ever do. What you got? What you got, Zack Snyder? What you got?
not Brightburn. Oh my god.
Actually, what was it? I forget now because we talked about it at work.
Hmm.
That Zack Snyder had actually made the comment on Twitter that because people were complaining about somebody did talk bad against the Zack Snyder cut, and it wasn't even all that bad. And
Oh,
he made the comment that, well, this version's for an adult, for adults, blah blah. Or he kind of he insulted the guy, and it's like it's for adults. What? So casual moviegoers who don't understand continuity or the characters, basically what you told me. Because you obviously don't know anything about the character. You don't care about the character. You just want to sit there and throw names at somebody for no reason. The guy wasn't disrespectful in any way, in my opinion. But
yeah. And like
so
I don't I feel like again this goes back to the whole idea of like of them really trying to push for this movie, and
if
I'm
they,
just, my hope is just like it's actually worth the hype, because it
it,
does yeah, it's
you know it's not. You know it's not. Stop hoping. False hope, dude. False hope. The my hope is when they release Flashpoint, that the cinematic universe gets rebooted into something good, and that Zack Snyder's versions will no longer be continuity. That's my hope for
that's your
Flashpoint.
hope.
That is my hope. Look, I think that's secretly Warner Brothers' hope as well, because they're hiring Michael Keaton back to come in and play a multiversal Batman, to play his Batman again. Why else would you do that when you know what you have sucks. You need Michael Keaton to save you because in the end, he's
Oh
Batman.
my god.
That's it. You need to reboot your universe. Yeah, you need to reboot your universe so hard, so fast. You got Michael Keaton back, and you're using a Flash movie to do it. You can't go faster than Flash, and you brought in one of the best Batman that ever been. So you know you're trying to erase Zack Snyder. Why give us the cut now when you even know that you regret hiring him?
Uh, okay.
I rest my case. I'm done. I win. I win. I win.
That actually was a fair point to go to though. I it does seem very suspicious to me that like in a perspective or in in the way that they've gone about it, where it almost seems like they haven't really paid like real homage to any previous versions. Um, for them to then bring in Michael Keaton, um, in that regard, does seem it almost seems like there's like an underlying reason for it, which to me is like I would more be upset if they managed to bring him in and then they still managed to make it a flop. Like if they did that, then yes, you've ruined everything. Like we don't we can't make any other arguments there. You've actually checked everything off of the list to just be like
Right.
exiled from the rest of society.
What I don't get is that when it comes to Snyder's movie, the CW Arrowverse has managed to be a better cinematic universe than anything he's done. Crisis on Infinite Earths for the Arrowverse has even proved they tied in the cinematic universe,
Yeah, they did.
and they basically said, "Look, we know you people don't like it. Warner Brothers wants to keep it, but we're showing you there is a better alternative. We have a world where things are good, and that's the Arrowverse." That's what they basically did. It was awesome. Zack Snyder, you suck. I'm sorry. Your DC movies suck.
Just dumpster fire.
If it was a dumpster fire, at least it would be better. I would watch the dumpster fire over a Zack Snyder DC movie.
For 2 hours?
And I feel like I would get more of my money's worth out of the fire than Zack Snyder's movie.
He's like, at least I would leave with a warm sensation with it.
Right? At least I can walk away saying, well, that was lit. I'm sorry. I know I'm being harsh, guys, and it really all is my opinion, but fact. But it's my no, it's my opinion. It really 100% is my opinion. But I'm not stating anything that's wrong in the sense of the movies didn't do well by the guy you're clamoring for, but the guy who did all the movies that people love, you all of a sudden, for some reason are against his version of Justice League. Like it boggles my mind. It's not like he even did the movie from scratch. He had to go more or less based off what Snyder laid the groundwork for. He didn't go
Exactly.
in doing the movie from scratch. So if you don't like Joss Whedon's movie, you're still proving the fact that Snyder sucks and Joss Whedon couldn't save it. Either way, it's just proof.
But honestly, to a degree, like that was sort of the point that I was making of being like I highly doubt that Josh Wheaton was like, okay, I got the movie now, let's sabotage it to the point that like it's so unrecognizable that people aren't going to be able to see the continuity there. Um, so I feel like some of the like even some of the beyond like obviously cutting the footage, like people said something about getting rid of Superman's double chin was like a thing that they decided to do with the Josh Wheaton version, and it's like that's a very small detail, but yeah, but I do think at the end of the day it's like it's not to a point where like where we can completely say that like, and I could be wrong, but I don't think it ever got to a point where we could say that they had a full overhaul of the entire movie, because it was, I think from what they said, he was more than halfway done in production when he had to pull out.
Right. And the other thing is people like, oh, look at the comparison. This was Joss Whedon's finished thing, and this is the same scene by Snyder. Okay, so his head was a little bit more of a wide angle. It's the same effing pose. It's the same
Yeah,
footage, just one zoomed in. What are you trying to compare? Like a, a Granny Smith to a Red Delicious? They're still apples. Like who cares? I don't understand. You people are nitpicking so much to find something that's bad with Whedon's movie that to blame specifically Whedon for. Like all he, oh, my head hurts.
I was I was gonna say people are treating the Snyder cut like it's an iPhone. That's what they're doing. It's
Oh, that's a good comparison because iPhones suck. All right, I actually just don't like iPhones, people. That's all. But that is a personal preference.
Yeah, I'm not an iPhone guy myself either, but like, but I do like, I feel like that's very much what it is. It's just like he's not doing anything that significantly better. It's just he's managed to get such a cult following that everybody's like, no, this is better. It's like it's not.
It,
You guys are just brainwashed into thinking it is.
right, and it's really not going to be. I find it hard to believe this is going to be a 4 hour thing. Like HBO doesn't have. No, they don't have HBO commercials because that's why it's a premium channel. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I I mean, I think like I do think that it's one of those things where again, going back to my point, I'm just trying to be very aware of the fact that there's a large tendency that they're probably going to overhype this beyond
Oh,
beyond what it should be.
they already have. The second you announced it was coming, it was overhyped.
It was that.
It was overhyped the second you said it was going to be released. Overhyped.
Jeez. Oh my God.
It really it was. It's the second you had made that announcement and you had anybody on board, it was overhyped. It will not be good. If it was that good, you're going to re-release it to home video or in the theater, not on HBO. Like really, HBO? Who pays for premium channels anymore? Or
True.
Netflix at
True.
least. Netflix, Hulu. You don't do it on HBO. You'll know why they're doing it on HBO because I'm pretty sure. I have to look it up. I was going to say Warner Brothers probably owns them because I know the DC Universe on subscription thing I failed.
Hmm.
I know that's where some things are moving to. I don't know if that's true or not. I was just going to say it just to say it, but I'm not going to. I'm pretty, but I'm sure secretly somehow Warner Brothers has some financial gain with HBO. That's the only
Oh,
reason I could see
100%.
for them. That's the only reason I could see the Snyder Cut going there instead of any other avenue. It just makes no like Warner Brothers has this decree somewhere. A CEO sat down and said, "How can we bleed money? Like I don't like money. I want to know how I can lose it." And they said, "Well," and somebody said, "Well, sir, what about this Zack Snyder guy? Yeah, he's losing us money. What does he want? Well, he wants
Wow.
more. He wants millions of dollars to finish the movie that wasn't good to begin with. Well, let's do that. Where do you think we could show it? HBO? Yeah, people don't pay for that. Yeah, send that there.
They just have a whole they just have a whole conspiracy. This is the opposite of what I think most people think about. It's just like, oh, in the like if you're looking in the back end, all these big companies are like, oh, how can we make the most money? No, they're just like, how can we lose the most money
At
in the
this point,
quickest way possible?
I'm pretty sure they look at Sony and go, they're losing money faster than us. How do we catch up?
Oh my God. That's
I mean, Sony actually is doing. If it wasn't for the PlayStation, the video game department, Sony would be gone.
yeah, from a film perspective, yeah, it's they're not uh yeah. Hey, I mean, PS5, man.
Okay, I think we did an hour bashing the Snyder Cut and bringing Snyder. I don't want to drag. I mean, I do want to drag this out, but for your guys' sake, I won't. So, I think this is a good place to end it.
How nice
I
of you.
I kind of want to hear what everybody. I want to hear everybody's opinions as long as they agree with me.
Wow. Just
Anybody
okay.
who's defending Snyder, don't bother. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I do honestly want to keep a conversation going, so I would love to hear feedback from everybody on
I
what
agree.
you think. Um, just don't be mad. You hear how I am now. You know what to expect when you comment. That's all I'm saying. You're signing a waiver, leaving the comment supporting Snyder. I'll probably take it more out on Demi-Human, to be fair, than I will you guys, but there will be some form of taking out on.
Wait, why does it have to be on me?
Because
Hold on.
you're Demi-Human.
Either way, if it's their opinion, what's that have to do with me?
Everything. You represent those people.
I represent those. I'm not gonna make the joke there. I would just leave it. I would leave
Yeah,
it.
yes, because I can't have those kind of jokes on here.
Uh,
All I'm saying is it's the same level as the Timmy thing in the trade. We'll just leave it at that. That's an
oh my
inside joke,
god.
people.
Those
I might rename Snyder to Timmy, and everything will come together.
that's just wrong.
No, it's not. I would be a superhero doing this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. I'm Car Dreamer.
And I'm Demi-Human.
This is D Class Derailed, and till next time, stay evil.